I want to say action is definitely the word we've had since the snow hit and deciding to put our meeting as Zoom. So I want to thank you all for your flexibility and cooperation in moving our meeting to Zoom today. I truly appreciate everyone's understanding and support as we navigate the weather. So, as a huge thanks to everyone for jumping on Zoom today, since the snow has kept us apart. I would like our introspection and our pledge today is Harry Zuloff. Harry, are you on or off? Oh, he must have gone off. Does anyone see Harry?
I'm here.
You have the introspection today?
I do.
We're ready.
All right. I've been thinking about all the grants and scholarships our Kiwanis Club gives, and I want to talk a few minutes about giving. Giving is more than an act. It is a reflection of the most beautiful part of the human spirit. When we give, we may not simply offer something of monetary value, but also our time, energy, and compassion. True giving is not measured by the value of our gift, but by the sincerity of our heart behind it. Every act of generosity plants a seed that may grow into hope for someone who feels forgotten or joy for someone carrying a heavy burden. Often, we may never see the full bloom of what we've planted. The beauty of giving is that its impact travels far beyond our sight, touching lives in ways we may never know. Giving transforms the giver. It opens our hearts, deepens our empathy, and reminds us that we are all connected. It bridges divides and lights the path towards a kinder, more compassionate world. So give freely, without hesitation or expectation. Give because you can and because you care. In the end, the greatest treasures we will ever hold are not the things we keep, but the hope and kindness we have given away. That is the true legacy of a giving heart, one that lives on in every life it touches. Now, would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Harry. Now we have the introduction of guests. But before we go to that, I want to say if anybody has a brag buck today, if you will put that in the chat box, so when we come to that, we'd be able to know who would like to do that. John is going to introduce our guest. John?
Thank you, President Joyce. This is a little trickier than I thought, especially as the participants grows exponentially. John Bradshaw, you're an engineer from MIT. You know about growing exponentially. Well, anyhow, this is the guess as I have it of 30 seconds ago. And if someone else hears me while I'm introducing guests, or if someone knows of a guest that I missed, please put it in the chat box and we'll recognize you at another part of the meeting. First of all, our speaker, Jonathan Pate, is with us, and we'll meet him more formally when we get to the program. He was on here at 10 minutes to 12, and so he knows all our secrets and then some. Look forward to Jonathan. We have several nonprofits who are receiving grants today, and I'm pleased to say this is somewhat of an experiment. One member asked me, how do you present grants on Zoom? Well, we're going to find out. And it looks like we have several here with us. Are Ahu Salim from Blue Ridge Literacy, Jimmy Butler from Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Kimberly Davidson from the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir, and Kathleen Thorell from Tudor House. We'll meet them more formally in a bit. We have a guest who's moved here recently from Charlottesville, or at least in the last 18 months. And we have a new member who's moved here from Charlottesville in the last 18 months, so we'll have to put you two together. Maybe you even know each other. Our guest today is Janet Bonner, who's moved here from Charlottesville, and she inquired about coming about 6 or 8 hours ago, and I'm pleased to see that she's with us, and welcome to our club. We also have someone who signed in on Zoom named Joe Hum, or at least that's what's showing in the ID box. I'm not sure who that is. If you could identify yourself, or if someone in the club recognizes that moniker, will recognize that person.
Hi,
Thank you all.
I'm with the Gainsborough Y. I'm the chairperson of the board of directors, and I'm here to thank you for meeting with us with Jonathan Pate.
What is your last name? What is it?
Hume, Joanne Hume.
Thanks so much for being with us, Joanne.
Thank you for having us.
Those are our guests, President Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Randy Myers, are you on? We're ready for the grant presentation.
I am glad to see everybody made it.
Great. Go ahead, Randy.
Okay. The first introduction will be Blue Ridge Literacy, and Bruce Swanson has agreed to be here to introduce our guest today. Bruce, are you here?
I am.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Everyone can see me or hear me? Great.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So I'm very happy to be the introduction person today. I realize I haven't shaved for about a week, and it looks like we may not get out of our house for another 2 or 3 days. So, hey, we're eating out of the freezer, as they say. But good morning to everyone. So today, I'm happy to introduce, since 1985, Blue Ridge Literacy has been a leading nonprofit providing year-round literacy services to adult English learners in the Roanoke Valley. Their offices are in the library downtown, and they have a wonderful site, wonderful place to visit. I would encourage you to do that. They do this by offering one-on-one literacy tutoring, English for speakers of other languages in class programs. They do citizenship preparedness classes, and they provide English and digital literary services. They're celebrating 40 years of service. To help commemorate that milestone, my wife Julie and I supported the Buzz for Good episode that was created last year. And again, you can find Buzz for Good, and they have done a wonderful job of supporting local charity. You can go out and find that particular clip for Blue Ridge Literacy. Blue Ridge Literacy continues to evolve to meet the changing needs of adult learners and to respond to the pressing community challenge. I'm going to turn it over now to Ahu Salim to further explain how the funds are going to be used. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to be with you today to talk a little bit about the project that we are going to conduct with the Kiwanis Club. And let me start by thanking you. The Kiwanis grant will help support and expand Blue Ridge Literacy's Pathway to Success Bridge ESOL program, one of the fewer bridge programs in the area. Now in its third year, this program was kickstarted with the generous support of Roanoke's Women Foundation to integrate academic readiness, analytical reading, public speaking, and career readiness skills into BRL's advanced and post-advanced level English classes. In addition, the program provides information about credit and certificate courses, career pathways, and financial aid options to support adult learners who want to move from traditional ESL instruction into college or to the workforce. The Kiwanis grant will support starting of the next phase of the program, which is strengthening its practical skills instruction. Practical skills include resume writing, interview preparation, goal setting, and professional communication and follow-up. These essential competencies are often missing from traditional ESOL instruction, but as you all know, are vital for navigating U.S. academic and workplace settings. Funding will be specifically used for curriculum development, instructional material, workshop design, and staff training. Once established, the curricula and the material can be used across future semesters, which ensures lasting benefit of your support. The practical skill building component also creates an opportunity for the Kiwanis members to directly engage with learners in our advanced and post-advanced level classes. These are the higher ends of our English proficiency spectrum. And this engagement is done through a series of mock interviews that resemble college or job applications. Throughout the semester, learners will receive targeted instruction in resume building, applications, professional communication, and follow-up from their instructors. The mock interviews will be held during the final 5 weeks of our spring and summer semesters, which more or less fall on early March to mid-April and early July to mid-August. Your involvement offers our learners a valuable opportunity to receive real-world feedback and mentorship from established community professionals. That is you. These sessions also provide a chance for you, members of our community at large, to connect with our learners, members of Roanoke's immigrant and refugee population, directly, to become familiar with their stories, learn about their skills and competencies, and future goals. These kinds of connections are increasingly meaningful in the light of the current immigration discourse across the United States. Your engagement helps build supportive relationships, fosters inclusion, and promotes community integration, traits that, as you know, are embodied in the Kiwanis values of service and empowerment. We thank you very, very much for your support and look forward to working with you on this project.
Thank you, Ahu. And Bruce, thank you. Our next group is Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And Jenny, I know you're here. I've seen a few messages.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Yes, it's my pleasure to introduce Jimmy Butler, who is the president at Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And seeing as today is our club's 106th anniversary, I'll add a little bit of history. Jimmy's father, Jack Butler, was our club president in 1968. So welcome, Jimmy.
There, can you hear me now? Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you to all the Kiwanis members for this grant. I will tell you that what we do, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, is a nonprofit that builds beds and then delivers them fully furnished to children right here in the Roanoke Valley that are sleeping on the floor or sleeping on a couch, some other really bad sleeping situation. And I didn't realize that this bedlessness situation was so prevalent. To give you an idea, last year we did 19 bed builds and we built and delivered 594 beds to children right here in the Roanoke Valley. Your grant right here will help me build 6 more beds, and that's huge. The need is unbelievable. So thank you very much for supporting Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And I would love to have any of you guys come out to any of our builds at any point. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jenny. And Jenny, appreciate it. Next is the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir. Lee Learman, are you on?
Yes, Randy, I'm here.
Oh, great. Well, if you would introduce our guest from the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir.
With pleasure, and good afternoon, everyone. I wasn't able to be here last year at this same time to introduce the wonderful Kim Davidson, who was here receiving a gift last year. My goodness, about 40 years ago, Kim founded the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir and currently serves as its artistic director and administrative director. She is an iconic leader in the music community here in Roanoke and in the region. And having served on the board of this organization, I can tell you that the alumni, because it's been 40 years, the alumni who are all grown up now, can tell you all about how this experience in this amazing choir transformed their lives, not only as musicians, but most importantly as future leaders and contributors in their current roles that they have. So we're just delighted to be able to participate in this year's Grant Awards program, and just turn it over to Kim now to tell you more about that. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Lee, and my warmest greetings to all of you Kiwanis members, and thank you so much. We are so appreciative of your generous support of the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir. We have used your gift for scholarships for 5 underprivileged children from low-income families. And so they've been able to sing with us this year. And also to help support your scholarship gift, I've gotten a group of choir parents who I call choir angels, and they've provided costumes and more money for these children to be able to go to our annual fall retreat at the 4-H camp. And some of these children have never been to an away camp. It's just one night. And some of the girls have said, I've never had a dress before. It's beautiful. So thank you. We've got 5 children who would not have been in our choir joining us this year. And so thank you. And their children, these children plus their families they're blossoming. Children who were shy and were not quite sure how to fit in or talk with other choristers are now relaxed and able to talk to adults with good manners, and we've been able to draw the parents to participate in volunteering and getting to know the other parents. So I just love watching these children grow and mature. They learn new skills, especially these children who come from underprivileged home situations. We sing and we learn how to sing with excellence, but along the way, I'm very careful, and it's always been my motto to teach good manners and how to make good conversation by asking polite questions and listening to the answer, how to be helpful and to see what needs to be done and to do it, and encouraging those around you. So right now I'm thinking of 2 of the little girls that you sponsored who came in so nervous and worried and not very confident. And now they smile and they have friends and their parents are much more comfortable. So this gift of music brings more than just music, but it brings purpose and a feeling of community and joy, and also lifelong skills to these children. So in other good news, our choir has grown by 30 people this year. We took a big dive after the pandemic. We had 250 the day before the pandemic, and then we've kept losing. We only had 112 last year, but we're back up to 150 with 30 new students this year. And thanks to you, 5 of them are from you. So thank you, like with all my heart. So thank you very much for giving this gift of music. And thank you. I've learned more about the Kiwanis. You are so generous and so beautiful, the things you do in the community. So thank you so much for all of that. And in our children's choir, we have new t-shirts. And this year they say our favorite quote, which is building tomorrow's leaders one at a time. And you're part of that. And I just want to thank you with a very grateful heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly, and congratulations on the growth in your program. That's good news.
Thanks.
Lee, thank you for introducing Kimberly and the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir. Next is Tudor House. Pegram Johnson is the sponsor for that. And Pegram, are you on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you would introduce our guest.
Let me start by saying that my son Trent sang with the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir for, I don't know, Kimberly, 3 or 4 years possibly. And they had a wonderful experience going to the lighting of the National Christmas tree. And President Bush went down the line and shook hands with all of them. And Trent just had a great time. I thoroughly recommend to anyone the Roanoke Valley Children's Choir.
Thanks.
But I'm really here to say that I'm happy to sponsor a grant to Tudor House. And Tudor House was founded in 2020. Its mission is suicide prevention and mental health awareness, increase of mental health awareness. Uh, Tudor House has offices in the Jefferson Center, and its director is Kathleen Thorell, and hopefully she is on the call, I think.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Thorell. I am the executive director of Tudor House, and many of you I have met in past years, receiving support from Kiwanis so gratefully in years past. And I always look forward to this luncheon. And so I was kind of sad today that we weren't able to meet in person, because I always get an energy boost from seeing the advocacy that you all support for everyone. But I'm glad that we were able to see each other via Zoom today. So thank you for making it work with the weather. But I'm very grateful to receive the grant that Kiwanis has decided to support our Junior Ambassador program. So this will be a new program. A lot of you are familiar with our Teen Ambassador program that has been very successful, partly in thanks to Kiwanis supporting the Teen Ambassador program in the past. I believe in 2 years ago, we actually received a grant on the same day that my teen ambassadors were there for the Key Club. So you all have probably worked with some teen ambassadors and didn't even realize that they were Tudor House teen ambassadors. But that program is an initiative to train our youth on mental health awareness and suicide prevention and give them the knowledge that they need to then share that information with other teens in our community. And it's been a really successful peer-to-peer outreach for Tudor House because we are able to share that information through teenagers. I now have two teenagers. I have a 20-year-old who's no longer a teenager, but I knew that they were more likely to respond and listen to their peers than they were to me. So that was why I started the Teen Ambassador program. And based on that success, we decided that we were ready to expand that program to the middle schools and reach the middle school age group as well with that same training, that same support, and that same outreach, and really utilize the teen ambassadors to be mentors to the junior ambassadors. We've been able, as Pegram mentioned, we moved into the Jefferson Center offices this past summer. So we've really been able to host more informal events where youth can come and volunteer. They can meet our teen ambassadors. And I've just watched while I just kind of step back a lot of times and watch the teens interact with the younger age groups. And it's such an encouraging thing to see them seeking advice and support from one another. So I really plan to utilize that peer mentorship where each teen ambassador will be paired with a junior ambassador and help them through their training, as well as if they have questions or if they know a friend that is struggling and they're not sure how to help them, they can reach out to the teen ambassador. About half of my ambassadors have been a teen ambassador for 3 years. So they're pretty equipped at this point and feel really comfortable in sharing resources. So I'm excited to have that buddy system, as well as to have that targeted outreach into the middle schools. I think I talked about last year, many of you realize that It is never too early to talk about mental health and how to maintain your mental health and suicide prevention. And so we want to appropriately get more and more resources into not only the middle school, but the elementary school. And so we're looking forward to that outreach into the middle school, as well as being able to include that younger population with some of our more successful events. For example, we did a first annual pause for mental health last year. We had it at River's Edge. It was a free community event, completely planned by the teen ambassadors, where we had 16 therapy dogs that roamed the fields while we had 25 other mental health resources that kids and families could all take part in. So I'm excited to kind of bring on that younger age group to assist us with that event and get to see how successful and encouraging it is to have a community event that is solely based on mental health, supporting mental health, and it's free. So Kiwanis helps us to do that. We could not do the outreach that we do without the help of Kiwanis, because we all know it is a topic that many are afraid to broach. And so we try to have all our events be free because we don't need a financial piece to it to keep them from coming. But I really feel such an encouragement. I kind of felt it when Kim was talking, by this new generation and their ability to seek out things that my generation growing up, and certainly my parents' generation, didn't want to address or talk about. And so I think our teens and our youth are really going to have that path in the future where they're okay with talking about mental health and they're advocating for it. And the support of Kiwanis is going to help us do that. So thank you so much for continuing to support Tudor House in a time where there is a lot of unrest and people are struggling, and it's now more important than ever.
Thank you, Kathleen. Important work. And Pegram, thank you also. Joyce, that's
Thank
our.
you, thank you, Randy,
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
presenting our grants today. As we know and have heard, today is our Kiwanis Roanoke Club's 106th birthday. And we share that with three of our Kiwanians, Andy Stone, John Montgomery, and Pegram Johnson. All have the same birthday as our club. So happy birthday to all of you. Also, on this day, we usually announce perfect attendance. And so, John, would you like to share the perfect attendance with us? We can't hear you.
Here I am.
Okay.
Thank you, President Joyce. Let me also say I'm so delighted we had all of our charities that were receiving grants here today. Your check's in the mail, as we put it, and that watch for that in the coming days. Let me tell you that as we celebrate our club's 106th birthday, as Joyce said, part of our tradition is to recognize people who've done things like coming to meetings or committee meetings or work projects or visit other clubs. And consequently, we've got quite a few people that do that. I used to think when I was a new member that, gosh, how can you maintain perfect attendance? I might have come to, say, 40 meetings in a row, and then just something unavoidable, a work conflict or some sort of family need kept me from being there. And first couple of years, I didn't get it. But I learned from some of the masters of the trade that there are makeup opportunities. And if it's really important to you, get with me and we'll show you how you can qualify for it. Let me also say that checking off on the attendance sheet is important too. I spend part of every meeting matching the attendance sheet against people that are in the room. So if you thought you deserved it and I don't mention your name, that could be an error that's correctable. All right, quickly, let me tell you that these are people that had technically perfect attendance by the various means I've talked about. And I'll give you the years and the individuals through 2025. As you become a director or an officer, it gets easier to do that too, because you have a lot more meetings that you can attend. 1 year perfect attendance through 2025 are David Hartman, Alex Barge, Chris Rouse. 3 years, Gene Bollendorf, Harry Zuloff. 4 years, Amy Carter. Let me explain that Amy's there, of course, almost every week, but there were several weeks that during COVID we didn't have lunch, and so that interrupted Amy's string, and she's back on it now. 5 years, John Ewart and Mike Obrachta. 7 years, Mike McAvoy. 10 years, Reef Kessler and Joyce Montgomery. 11 years, Sherry Hartman and Don Witt. 18 years, Ken Briggs. 19 years, Andre Brooks. I have 26 years. 34 years, Don Wilson. And how about this? 40 years of perfect attendance since he joined the club, Steve McGraw. Maybe you can do a fake applause on mute. Congratulations to all of them. Now, briefly, we also present Legion of Honor awards, and those are to people after you get to 25 years. We recognize people that are 25-year members and more on the 5th anniversary of that. So this year we have a member who reached 25 years. And by the way, there are appropriate lapel pins for people when they get to that level, and I'll be getting with you individually to get your lapel pin to you. 25 years is Will Dibbling. 35 years, 2 of our past presidents, Vern Danielson and Andy Stone. I don't believe either Vern or Andy are on Zoom today, but Will is. 40 years, as I said, of perfect attendance, past president Steve McGraw. And this is noteworthy. Arnold Messiner doesn't come very often, but next to John Bradshaw, he's the second most tenured member of our club, Arnold Messiner, 55. Congratulations to all of you. Back to you, President Joyce.
Thank you, John. We're pretty impressive, I think. It's unbelievable. We have announcements, and because we're running a little short, I ask that you please, if I call on you to speak, just make it 30 seconds and give us the meat of your announcement. The first one is this is the last week for the foundation for their appeal for $106. So you still have this week to get in your money and be eligible for the drawing. The environmental committee is meeting today on Zoom, and that's Courtney is running that. I think all of you are aware of that. Also, Courtney, would you like to briefly say something about the Martin Luther King cleanup success?
Yes, happy to share that. Just the meat, no taters.
Thank you.
We had a successful event on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, our Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which was our 5th cleanup. And we've been partnering with the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke for the last 4 years of those cleanups. And so I'm happy to say that each year we add more partners. So Clean Valley Council, Kiwanis Club of Roanoke, we had Serve, Do Good Virginia, Shiloh Baptist Church. The Envision Center hosted our gathering in the nice warm temps. And of course, the Roanoke Regional Housing Authority. We cleaned up 120 bags of trash and had 102 children and adults. And if I am correct, 5 of those people that cleaned up were also Kiwanis members. Sherry and Dave Hartman were there helping to get people signing the waiver. We had our partners inside serve some nice hot apple cider and made a really big impact there in Northwest Roanoke, north, south, east, and west, in all areas around the perimeter of the Envision Center. That includes our Kiwanis Nature Park. It includes the Lansdowne community from the Salem Turnpike all the way down to Melrose Avenue. and all the way out to 24th Street where the Family Dollar is, and behind the Envision Center to 29th Street. 120 bags of litter. So big applause to everyone who was part of that.
Thank you, Courtney. Truly a success. Jeff, Vic, we're still looking. Jeff, I'm going to make this one. We're still looking for some captains for our KPAD. So if you're interested, please contact David Hartman or Jeff, Vic, or Lois James. Andre, our Sweetheart Social, would you like to speak?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The Fun Committee is planning another fun event, a Sweetheart Dinner, on February 25th. It's going to be at Frank's on Bremelton. There'll be more about it later, but put that on your calendar for now. February 25th, Frank's on Bremelton, Sweetheart Dinner. Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Andre. Also, Dan and Diane Chitwood were going to be at our meeting today, but obviously couldn't. But they are on for next week and the next week. So tuck a little money in your pockets for next week to buy a Valentine. Also, Larry, quickly, could you mention your Mill Mountain project?
Yes, thank you, President Joyce. Our March Fun Committee social event is going to take place at Mill Mountain Theater. We're all going to come over here to the center in the square and see this high energy and funny musical called 9 to 5, the musical. It's based on the movie. If you remember the movie, you've got Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and Dolly Parton. The music is written and the lyrics are written by Dolly Parton. And the show tells the story of 3 female office workers, Violet, Judy, and Doralee, who team up to get revenge on their sexist boss, leading to friendship, empowerment, and a dream makeover of their workplace. And we're going to start the evening off with a reception held on the second floor at Center in the Square. It's going to be where the same place we held it at the Harrison Museum. But now that has been remodeled, the Harrison Museum is no longer there. They have a really nice remodeled party room where we're going to enjoy a reception that starts at 6 o'clock. It's Amy Carter is going to provide heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks. It's all included in the price plus the ticket for the show. The show starts at 7:30, and we held the price from last year's price. So you get all that for $53 a person, and it's a good opportunity to bring in your family members, anybody that could be a potential Kiwanis member, to show them that we not only work big projects, but we also have a lot of fun. So I'll have, barring any additional Buffalo weather next Wednesday, I'll have the sign-up logs on the tables at our next meeting. And you can send me an email before that if you want and tell me if you want to come, and I'll put you on there myself. Okay, thanks, President Joyce.
Thank you. Also, tomorrow we have a KPAD meeting, and my understanding it's going to be on Zoom. Correct, Mike?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, but I think we're going to have to not have brag bucks because of the time. We want to give Jonathan plenty of time. So we're going to move on to the program. And Preston, would you like to introduce our program?
I sure will. Hello to everybody.
Hello.
So we got Jonathan Pate, which is the executive branch or the branch executive at the Greensboro YMCA. He's a product of William Fleming High School. So he's a colonel. He's one of us. And good to have Joanne on here, who is our board chair at the YMCA. I'm also on the board at the Y. So I'm going to let Jonathan do his thing. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan Pate as he comes and tells us a little bit about the YMCA Gainsboro.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is an absolute privilege for me to be here and to present in front of the Kiwanis Club. I look out and I see so many familiar faces, and I just know the impact that the Kiwanis Club has had. I know firsthand the impact that the Kiwanis Club has had on this community and has had on the Gainsboro YMCA as a recipient of a grant from the Kiwanis. It's just an honor to be here. And I will say in honor of Hat Day today, I'm going to don a YMCA hat. The history of this hat is it was just recently purchased to keep me warm during this cold weather. And I certainly hope I can be serious with this hat on, but we're going to give it a gun-ho effort. So anyway, I'm hoping everybody can see my screen. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation that I have in front of you?
Yes, it's looking great.
Okay, excellent. So let's talk about the Gainsboro Y. First of all, I'm honored to be the branch executive of the Gainsboro YMCA, which is holds such a powerful legacy in this community for the things it's done for so many years. I'm also proud to be the branch executive because this is home for me, as Preston Tyler had mentioned. This Northwest Roanoke is home for me. I look out this window and I see across the street Washington Park, where I played sandlot football and was mentored by strong men like Joe Gaither and Creedy Moyer and other legends in Northwest Roanoke who basically raised me. I was born with a single mom, and these men imparted so much into my life that I'm very grateful for. When I look behind me every day I see a picture on my wall of Lewis Brown, who ran this Gainsboro YMCA for over 30 years. You talk to people in this neighborhood that are between 30 and 60 years old, they will tell you the impact that he and people like Percy Keeling has had in this community with what they've done with this YMCA. So again, I'm just super honored to both present to you and also to be the branch executive of the Gainsboro Y. So basically, I'd love to talk to you about the history of the Y. It's hard to talk about the history of this YMCA without talking about a little bit about the history of Roanoke, and then a little bit about the impact that this YMCA is having in this community. And I will begin with history. So again, very difficult to talk about this YMCA without history. I want to start with the history of the YMCA. Back in 1844 in London, England, there was a gentleman by the name of George Williams. George Williams was a tapestry and drapery assistant. So he sold fabrics and textile in London. But there was one thing that he observed. He observed that there were men in London, young men that had come from the rural areas during this Industrial Revolution, and they were wreaking havoc on their city. They had no place to go. They had no homes. They had no education. And he decided to create a home for them. The first YMCA was built in his home, where he taught men how to read. He taught men the Bible. He imparted into them soft skills that would make them successful in their life. And this started to spread, and people started to say, I love what George Williams is doing. I want to support that. And because of that, it grew in London. And in 1851, it crossed the Pacific Ocean and landed in the United States in 1851, where the YMCA began in Massachusetts. So that history began to evolve into Roanoke. I don't know if everyone knows here, but in 1825, Gainsboro was incorporated as a town. And then, of course, Big Lick was incorporated as a town across the railroad tracks, and Roanoke became a city in 1871, combining Gainsboro and combining Big Lick to form what we now know as Roanoke. So I say that because it has some context to what I'm going to talk about here later on in the slide. So when we talk about the history of the YMCA in Roanoke, the first YMCA in Roanoke was on the corner of Church and 2nd Street. It was the first YMCA in downtown Roanoke. And it predominantly, because this was after segregation, it predominantly served the Caucasian population in Roanoke. And then across the railroad tracks in Gainsboro, there was a YMCA that was started called the William Hunton YMCA, named after a real pioneer, African-American pioneer, who began to establish African-American YMCAs across this country. So in 1928, the Hunton Y started. The Hunton Y provided so many services for African Americans, including what we will celebrate in April 19th of this year, the 92nd annual Father, Son, and Family Banquet. That banquet was established for African American railroad workers who worked 16 to 20 hours a week on the railroad, had no time to spend with their family. And the Hunton YMCA decided we're going to create a night of inspiration, create a night of education for these men and their sons during this time. So then the YMCA Gainsboro began in 1953. We actually started as a YWCA here, servicing African-American women in Roanoke. And this YMCA was everything from a skating rink where people would come and skate in our main hall to childcare. It was a church. In our wellness center, there's a stage where the word was given. So it has such a rich history beginning in 1953. So I wanted to give you a little bit of history behind the YMCA and why it's had such an impact on this community. Let's talk about what we're doing today. So with that rich history, we carry that on into 2026. You know, one of the hallmarks of the YMCA is our membership, where somebody comes in, they become a member, become a part of our family. They take part in our group exercise programs that really promote healthy living, healthy lifestyle. So our membership and our group exercise programs are huge here at Gainsboro. And then, as I said, talked about earlier, this 92nd annual Father, Son, and Family Banquet is something that's been going since 1932 at the Hunton YMCA. And this YMCA carries on that legacy as well as other legacies that the Hunton YMCA started. I'm going a little quickly because I know we're a little pushed for time. Also, we do a 9th annual basketball camp here at Gainsboro. We team up with Raymond and Damon Williams from Twin Hoops Association, and they present, along with the Gainsboro Y, a one-day basketball camp. We usually do that in partnership with Roanoke City Schools using William Fleming High School, Lucy Addison, or whatever gym they have available. And these kids really get a great foundational basketball skills, but most of all, these kids get a sense of fellowship, mentorship, and just being taught about life in general. So it's a great camp run and helped and partnered with by Raymond and Damon Williams. And then we have our Beacons Middle School Initiative. This is a middle school program that we partner with Roanoke City Schools to provide free after-school programming for middle schools at Woodrow Wilson, at James Madison, and at Lucy Addison. So 3 of the 5 middle schools in Roanoke City, we provide after-school programming. We partner in that program with Virginia Western Community College, who does extensive STEM workshops and activities for these kids in this program. We also partner with Humble Hustle, which is a nonprofit here in Northwest Roanoke that teaches these kids social emotional skills and just caring adults, that teaches them what a bright future is all about. So that is a huge program here at the Gainsboro YMCA. And then we have, which is unique to the YMCA's, we have a teaching kitchen in our Gainsboro Y. It's a professional kitchen that we provide mostly kids, some adults, with cooking classes. And I will tell you that this YMCA is sitting in the middle of what is called a food desert. So a lot of families in this area get their food from convenience stores and other places. Education on nutrition and food origin is rare. So we really sit in a strategic position to be able to educate this community on the benefits of healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle. We do that in that Gainsboro kitchen. And as you can see in this picture, we also have a Gainsboro garden that we do what we call farm to table workshops. So the kids will come out in the garden. They will harvest vegetables in our garden. They will take them into our kitchen. They will process those vegetables into a recipe that they're doing during that cooking class, and they will actually eat that, the meal that is served during that workshop. So it really shows the kids in a real way where food comes from. And you'd be amazed how many kids think that tomatoes and vegetables come from the produce section of a grocery store versus in the ground. So that is a major program that we do here at the Gainsboro Y. So, and Joyce, I have the ability to give everybody a very quick tour of the Gainsboro Y. If you feel like it's something that we have time for, it should only take about 5 minutes.
Jonathan? Okay, we would love a tour. I was muted. I was talking, but nobody was hearing me. We would love a tour, please.
Okay, that's great. I'm going to switch over from my computer to my phone, okay?
Jonathan?
Yes, he has to switch from his computer to his phone. He told us in advance that might take a little bit, but he should be right back on.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
And maybe I'll just take this time to encourage you to join us in doing ticket sales captains. It is not as time consuming as you might think, and it is less of sales than helping encourage the other people who are tracking the team's progress in ticket sales. I'll let it go there.
I hope to learn more about Hat Day. I went and grabbed my hat. I felt embarrassed I didn't have a hat today. Just want to just fill some silent space.
This is Rube Cutler. Brenda and I have both been members of Gainsboro Y for many years. And Brenda goes there 3 times a week and loves it. So it's quieter than the main Y, and they have all the exercise equipment you could possibly want. And there's a nice locker room. And so, if you want to do exercise in the gym and sometimes have the gym to yourself, try the Gainsboro YMCA.
Well, I will add in, as while we're waiting on Jonathan, that Amy asked me to tell you that normally she has on our birthday a nice lunch and a birthday cake. And so she wanted me to let you know that that's what she's going to do next week. So we will celebrate our birthday next week.
Joyce, you might mention next week's program. Do you have that there?
All right, I do. Next week's program is Dr. Frank Shujak, Roanoke College president.
Can you off mute?
Oh, there he is.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Excellent. I was having a little technical difficulty. So real quick, I'm going to start at the end of this hall. This is our wall of fame. So these are all people throughout the decades that have impacted this YMCA in such an incredible way. So we have everything from mayors to business leaders on this wall that contribute to our history. This is our father, son, and family banquet wall. So these are pictures of past and present. We got a proclamation from the city, and again, we started in 1932 with that event. And real quick, I'll take you to our lobby. And in our lobby, we're in the middle of what's called annual campaign. Annual campaign provides financial assistance for those who money may be a barrier to becoming part of our Gainesboro family. So we're in the middle of doing that. There's Elijah. He is one of our staff back there. And then these are all of our generous donors for that annual campaign. This is the place that used to be a church, used to be a gathering place, and now is our wellness center. We have a stage that we do our Group X instruction up there. And then if I take you quickly into our kitchen, where we conduct all of our cooking classes. This is our kitchen, our teaching kitchen, where we do all of our classes. And I'll show you real quick. It's a little cold outside, but I'll show you the garden real quick. And this is our teaching garden. Of course, it's dormant right now, but in the spring, we'll have tons of vegetables and fruits out here for the kids and adults. And then the last thing that I would like to show you guys as I give you this tour is I wanted to show you our mural that is in the front of our building. And that mural really talks about the history of this YMCA. It was done by two local artists here in Roanoke. And it really does, if you can still hear me, depicts the history of this Y from when the Hunton YMCA started at Wells Avenue all the way through our father-son banquet that started in 1932. This is where the Gainesboro YMCA moved from the Hunton in 1941. And then it goes all the way across to 1964 when segregation ended and the YMCA began to merge. And then just some pictures here of some prominent people at our Y. This is Al Holland, who is a historical figure in Roanoke and did great things for the YMCA all the way through 1986 when we merged with the YMCA downtown, all the way to 2024 when this mural was was built. So that's just a little bit of history of who we are at the Gainesboro Y. And I thank everybody for letting me present to you this afternoon.
Thank you, Jonathan. Be careful with your footing.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I couldn't find my mute button. Jonathan, thank you so much. I loved having the tour. That was so impressive. So we believe everything you say is very important for us and our knowledge of this YMCA. Lots of stuff I did not know, and I've lived here my whole life. So that was a great presentation, and thank you so much. Jonathan has also asked that his honorarium go to the YMCA, and John will make sure that that happens. All right, folks, don't forget next week is Dr. Frank Schuha, Roanoke College president. I'm sure that will be as interesting as today's. So with that, we will adjourn. Thanks.